Well, good morning. It's Randytbird out here in Arizona on another scorcher of a day. It's early in the morning. Well, not that early. It's about 7. Got up at 5 and said I don't want to get out of bed, so I waited another hour. So anyway, I'm out here today. The 1-teens are back, and it's been brutal. So that's kind of the theme here this year. This has been pretty incredible, really. Anyway, this week number, but I don't usually do that, but oh well. I was going too fast to stop. Anyway, yeah, week 1 of my unemployment is really weird. I'm not used to not working. It's very strange. I still have some promising things in the works. Just waiting for the right for the shoe to drop so that I can get back to work. I'm already losing my mind. It's too hot to do anything, really, and that's the biggest problem. And so I just been doing that find a job thing. You know, I'm pretty sure that some people look at my resume and say, wow, this guy is older, and well, I got a hell of a lot to give still, and with the experience that I have and everything, I think I can do well for somebody. But you know, I'm keeping my spirits up. Whenever I start to feel a little down, I just, you know, mess with the bikes or do whatever just to try to keep my spirits up. And anyway, I'm just, like I said, I'm just not used to not working. I've never been unemployed in 50 years. So, but out riding the bike today, that always helps too. And it's going to be another 114 or 15 degrees today, so early is the name of the game, as is most of the summer, but more so this year than ever. Took a drive yesterday with the family. We went up to Lynx Lake in Prescott, Arizona, and the temperature was in the 90s, but it was really breezy, and the lake was really nice, and you could actually sit in the shade and be very comfortable. And got something to eat, kind of doing a my wife's birthday coming up next week, so we just kind of go out and celebrate. She really likes it up in Prescott, Arizona, so that's where we went and walked around the square, had a good lunch, and went to a local park and let the boy play, and just kind of hung out in the middle of the afternoon. And you could be outside and not start smoking as the temperature cooks you slowly like an air fryer. Not much chance of rain until the middle of the week, and even then it's a small chance. So that's what's keeping things hot, is a lack of moisture. So anyway, that's Arizona, even though more extreme this year than in the past. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your summers and getting out. You folks that have short seasons, I know there's not a day to waste up there when the weather's good in Canada and the Northwest. And I guess they're getting a lot of rain in Sturgis, I've heard. When I went in 87, it rained the whole week I was there. After a while, you just kind of get used to being wet, and so you just deal with it. You know, I remember us standing at a beer garden down on Main Street up on the oh, I don't even know what direction it was, but it was on the far end of Main Street. They had a beer garden, and beer was relatively affordable back in 87, and the tarps that they had over their patio were leaking really bad, so you just tried to stay out of the water dripping on you, and we just drank beer, and that made it all better. And as again, I wore a rain suit almost the entire time I was there, and it wasn't really, you know, massive like hailstorms and stuff like I've seen up there, but it was It was just like a steady drizzle day and night, and I slept in my rain suit, and after my tent gave up after about 2 days, and sleeping bags got wet. The campground we were staying in, we ended up just using it was a several hour wait to be in line for the campground laundromat, and I spent like $5 or $6 trying to dry out my sleeping bag, as those things are huge sponges. So anyway, bought a tarp and threw it over the tent just to try to get a little bit more waterproofing there, but you know, it just build a little berm around the tent to keep the water from flowing in. You know, it wasn't fun then, but it's a good story now. You know, but I haven't been to Sturgis since 1994, and it just got too crowded for my tastes. You know, 500,000 plus people there, and it wasn't the same as it was in the early days. And I'm not saying don't go, especially if you've got lodging up there to stay in. It's definitely an experience. But and the first time I went was 1981, and there was only about 25,000 people there, and it was really still had a small town rally feel to it, and I got to go all over the whole area. And the Black Hills are a pretty magical place. Just some of the roads around there, and then there's Mount Rushmore, which you've got to actually see to really experience. You can see pictures and video, whatever, but it's not the same as being there. Also, the Needles Highway, and there I never did make it to Devil's Tower, Wyoming, the 4 times that I've been there. So that's one thing I probably still should check off. They have a heck of a party there at a bar that's the closest town to there. But never got the chance to go there, or I had the chance and missed it. Anyway, that's this week. I hope people are enjoying themselves as much as they can in the crummy weather. It'll probably straighten out. There's a lot of, if you've ever ridden a lot of miles in the rain, it's quite the experience. Yeah, and a lot of you folks live in rainy climates, which that and the folks over in England, riding in the rain is just a regular thing in England and Northern Europe and all that. So anyway, I have a rain suit that when I go out on the road, I throw it in my saddlebag, and as kind of insurance against rain. It's like carrying a bunch of tools. If you have them, you won't need them. If you don't have them, you'll need them. So I have a few tools on the bike now. So I've been trying real hard to get a job in the motorcycle business, and some places it seems really hard to get in front of somebody. I've been fortunate enough to have a couple interviews, and we'll see how that goes. And but that's what I'm hoping to do. I was in the copier machine business for most of almost all my career, and there's a couple opportunities that have popped up there that I'm looking into. So we'll see how that goes. But, if the weather was better, I'd be out on the bike every day and enjoying this time off as a vacation. But unfortunately, the weather has not been cooperating. You know, definitely no rain, no mud, but after about 10 o'clock in the morning, or at least no later than noon, you really don't want to be out. It's been as hot as 108, 109 at noon. So, although it's pretty nice right now, actually. It was 89 when I left the house, a little bit before 7, and now out on the highway away from town, it's actually nice and cool out here. I would say it's probably in the high 80s, but high 80s feel pretty good. The desert's still maintaining some greenery here. The grasses have all turned yellow, but the plants look good. The saguaros look good. folks had a chance to get out and see that new CVO with the new 121 motor. I was looking at some tech on that, and it seems fairly, I don't want to say simple, but it's novel the way the Harley's incorporated that into their existing motor architecture. That's pretty interesting. It comes down to the fact that actually engineers are pretty smart people, you know. And us backyard guys, you know, well, those guys that come up with some good things, but the engineers really, they earn their money. There's a Ducati desert sled. There's so many motorcycles out there that I would love to ride. Don't know if I'd like to own them all, but I'd sure like to ride them all. Man, if I could get... Hey, motorcycle magazines and websites, if you're listening, hey, I'm willing to ride some bikes from you and do some reviews. So you know where to find me here on the interweb. Real nice out here approaching the river. Took a trip up I-17 yesterday on the way to Prescott, Arizona, and they're widening that road up there, which is long overdue, but my God, what a mess. It's going to take at least a couple of years to get that done. They have to build bridges, they have to re-engineer the sides of mountains, whatever, to get that third lane in, but it's been almost unusable on holiday weekends for sure. And so they're working on that project. It just seems like everywhere you go there's construction in town. All the north-south streets and where I live have got pavement resurfacing going on, and they narrow it down. I was on my way to take care of some errands the other day, and there was a guy pulling a trailer, and they had set the lanes up so narrow that his trailer was clipping about every third of the barricades. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm just gonna let this guy get ahead of me as I don't have to run over any barricades. That was wild. Anyway, this is Randytbird out here in Arizona. I'm gonna stop for gas, and I'll be back with more later. See you in a while. Hey, it's Randy. I'm back. Sunday morning out here on the Dyna, soaking up the remainder of the cool air for the morning. Topped up the gas, crossing the Verde River. The air is nice and clear today. Not too much of the haze that we've had here recently. So it's looking good out here today. Just out here enjoying my Dyna this morning. I just can't speak enough about how much I love this bike. And it's pretty amazing. This is actually my second 2017 Dyna that I've had. She's a replacement. I should never have gotten rid of the first one. I really, really love that bike, and I got... let's face it, I got sold the Road King, and it was alright, but it was not my Dyna. And nothing against Road Kings, they were really tremendous motorcycles. But it just wasn't the same. It never has been. I'm glad to have one again. Even though I've got my Heritage, this Dyna is very rapidly becoming my favorite motorcycle once again. So... And yes, I still ride the Heritage, and it's awesome, and in its own ways, it's very refined. It's very comfortable. If I was going to go any real distance, I would probably take that bike over the Dyna. But the Dyna is just sporty and just feels good to me. And I remember being disappointed when they discontinued the Dyna. I was really hoping that they'd find a way to work the new motor into a twin shock chassis, and they didn't do that. And I've had a Milwaukee 8 Street Bob, and Well, they're a cool motorcycle, a very, very great motorcycle in their own way, but they just don't have the feel that the Dyna does. And so I'm just happy to be able to have one again. And I was, when this one came up, the deal was right, and I got good money for the Sportster, and yeah, it worked out good. I've just done a few mods on her, put a fairing on there to block the wind, and change the grips, and change the exhaust system, you know, tuned her up, and just runs real good. But I put some saddlebags on. I've got some Leather Pros retro mini bags, and they're just large enough to carry a few things that I need, and they're not huge. They really fit the lines of the bike. They were a bit of a pain in the ass to install, but they're serving their purpose, and I like it. If you're thinking about getting them, I do recommend it. The only thing I will tell you is that you will have to cut wires, even though they're designed to fit with your standard turn signals on the Dyna chassis. You will have to cut wires because you have to reroute the wires through the mounting brackets that they provide. They're not quite the same style of mounting brackets as the full-size Leather Pro bags, so that does give you just a little bit of a warning that you will have to cut and splice wires. I really don't like doing that, but you do what you have to. So I looked at other saddlebags like the built well things, and I didn't really care for the square appearance and whatever, and I didn't really want to put Viking bags on it. Them being decent, I just didn't want that big of a saddlebag on there. My Heritage, if I need to go anywhere I need larger saddlebags, I'll use the Heritage. And I don't know what this guy's doing. Oh, I got a flat. Anyway, so the Dyna is set up and good. I can't think of a whole lot of more things that I need to do to improve this. I love the mini apes that are on the Dyna. Always been a fan of the mini apes. It's probably my most favorite handlebar that Harley has ever made, and very close to a handlebar I used to run on shovel heads back in the day called a Sunny Ape, and it was a 12-inch, true 12-inch ape hanger that had the right pullback bend, kind of almost like a tall buckhorn. And me being short in stature and short arms, they just come back and meet me where I need to be, so I really like that. Anyway, just gonna get in a little bit more riding today before it gets super hot, and once I got out of the area where the river was, it's gotten warm again, so it feels like it's probably getting close to 100 already. So I'm going to be headed back to the comfort of my air conditioner before it hits the high 100s and into the 1-teens. So this is Randytbird out here in Arizona. I want to thank you for subscribing. Had a big bump in subscribers lately. I want to thank you all for subscribing, and I'm glad you like what I'm doing. And if you haven't subscribed, and you please do. It's free. Well, there are a few free things left in this world. Subscribe. I put out a video at least once a week, sometimes two, and just happy to get to know you all. And feel free to comment, share my videos, and don't forget to put a like on there. That helps me out a lot. And I will talk to you later.